I am messing around, trying to get things set up. And we're live. Hello. A little bit of a different setup here tonight. Welcome to Tarot After Dark. Grab your tarot deck. If you don't have a tarot deck, stick around. Maybe you have an oracle deck. I'm not prejudiced. Actually, originally I started with tarot, but didn't really understand it too well. So then I went to Oracle, and Oracle was a great place because most of the time Oracle is very positive, motivating, uplifting, inspiring. And tarot was always that mystical kind of, ooh, what if you get the death card? That sort of thing. But eventually I wanted to learn tarot because it was just so mysterious to me. I wanted to unlock the mystery of tarot. And, it still is a mystery because you never know what card's going to come and how it's going to relate. So, I think it's really important if you're new to tarot and and you asked me for advice. My advice would be, don't take it so seriously. There's conflicting information out there. People saying you got to memorize the cards. People saying you don't. I'm of the you don't. It's helpful, but don't get stuck in perfection thinking you have to memorize the cards before you're going to be any good at it. Because truly, if you're doing things from what's the word I'm looking for? An intuitive perspective, you have to be willing to see beyond the basics. So if you memorize cards, you're going to be so stuck on just what you've memorized. And you're not going to be able to go beyond that, to tap into your intuition, to see further, deeper into whatever the message is. But when you're first just learning and practicing and playing, that's the time where you really want to give yourself grace. When you're new to something, you're not going to perfect it instantly. And this is the time to get messy. Get out there, get messy, do what you need to do. And I was just shuffling and talking at the same time. And I love that this Page of Wands comes up because this is the energy I love to encourage students to have, that enthusiasm, to be willing to try things out, to be willing to just put your hand up and say, I know the answer. Who likes to do that, by the way? Maybe if you are 110% sure you know the answer, but truly, Page of Wands is definitely telling you that it's possible to have fun while you're learning something. I think that's key to anything, realistically. Let's throw that back in the deck and just shuffle a little more. So if you're watching this as a replay, thank you, for one. And two, give it a thumbs up, pop in the comments. I'm going to pull a collective card pull here for everybody. 3 cards came out. Haven't looked at them yet. They're still up backwards. Oh, wow. That's weird. These cards have been shuffled and shuffled and shuffled. They're not in order in any way. They're all major arcana. Guess which one I started with? That's a hint. And I'm giving you, those who are watching as the replay, you're in a good position because you have time to pop in the comments to show the universe that I'm going to put an answer in, even if I don't know if it's right or not. What card did I pull? What's the card I have here first? Give you a second. You can also pause the video because I'm going to reveal the answer right now. We have the Fool. Perfect card. And the cool thing is, the other 2 cards come right after it. So without looking, if you know what comes after the Fool card in the Major Arcana and the card after that, let me know in the comments. You can put it in there now or pause the video. Well, unless you're here live watching me. Ready? We have the Magician and the High Priestess. So let's unpack this. This is pretty interesting that I'm talking about pulling a collective reading for people who I'm assuming are here to know a little more about tarot. And, hey, now before I go into this, I love watching tarot readers on YouTube. And even as a tarot reader myself, I've been watching my favorite channels for a long time, for like years now, like 6-7 years, religiously. And I love it. And I love that I now get to contribute to that too. So and I feel like I talk well to people who I want to uplift and help. And especially people who are maybe wanting to learn tarot. Like make it fun. It can be easy. So anyways, with that in mind, I was shuffling these cards and said, let's pull a collective reading. So we get all 3 cards, the first 3 cards in the Major Arcana, the Fool, the Magician. Let me put them in the order. The Fool, the Magician, and the High Priestess. So excuse me. So intuitively, what I pick up when things come in sequential order like that, so it's like 0, 1, 2, that to me is a message that everything's happening in the order that it's meant to happen. And it just feels like there is such flow to things. And I really love that these 3 cards are just showing you that you can start your journey anytime. You can pivot in the middle of your journey anytime. Whatever, I use the term journey, but for you, maybe it's something specific. Maybe you're going toward a goal. Maybe you want to learn tarot. And let this be the sign that, yes, you're ready to start. Like you see the Fool here. I love it with this Lightseer Tarot too by Chris Ann. The Fool, she is ready to go. And yet she's not. But she's willing to put her total faith into the universe and just drop into the vortex. That's the flower of life right there. That's a sacred geometry image. And that is just showing that she has that ability to just trust that the universe knows what it's doing. You plant a seed, you have faith that the seed knows what it needs to do to move forward. So same thing, you don't need to get stuck in the weeds with the how and what and all of that. You just need to have that enthusiasm, like that very first card that I pulled, to just allow. So to me, what this card signifies is a new beginning. It's maybe not even a brand new, maybe it's just a new chapter or a new day in a series of days. Like it doesn't mean like things are clean slate starting all over. Yes, it can mean that. I'm reading collectively, so it's pretty hard to just pick one person out and then it only relates to that one person. But realistically, this is showing you that it's never too late to just trust. It's never too late. Trusting is an important part of any learning experience, whether it's trusting the teacher, trusting the message, trusting you have the question you're going to ask isn't a stupid one. By the way, no question is a stupid question unless you keep asking the same one. So let's move on. So the next card is the Magician. And this is saying that and let's follow the hero's journey. Let's call it the hero's journey. So starting something new, letting the universe do what it needs to do, trusting in it. And then we come into, well, maybe I need to do a little bit of action here. So why don't I use what I have at my disposal? What am I good at? How do I perceive my own tools? All right. And this Magician here is definitely willing to experiment. Isn't that what science is? You know, that term, an exact science. Well, how do you think they got to the exact? They had to experiment. They had to do things. They had to maybe fail at it. And it's always through the perceived failures that the learning really takes hold, because we always remember the negative. We'll always remember, well, that was wrong. So you can, cut that out. But the magician also has that aspect of, you know more than you think, right? Hey, Phantom Punk 007. Cool. Hi, how are you? It's going good. Hope you're doing well too. Let me know if you have any tarot questions. And if you want a tarot card pull, because you're here live, let me know and I'll put a star beside your name and pull a card for you. But let me finish with these 3 cards as I'm going along. So, I'm glad you're doing well. Awesome. So with this magician, it really, really is reminding you that maybe you don't know as much as you think you know. That's not what I want to say. Maybe you don't know what you know until you start mixing things together. Be like the magician here. He's going to add this little tool to that tool. Maybe he's, pouring potions into whatever just to see what works. And that's like pulling tarot. When you're first starting, you just pull and see what comes. And I do have some advice for you. If you pull a card, no, let me rephrase that. When you pull a card that you're like, well, that has nothing to do with the question, and you want to pop it back into the deck, don't do it. Trust me. Or if you do, take note of what the card was, because those are the ways we learn even deeper about tarot, is when we get a card that doesn't relate to the question we asked at all. At least on a surface level, we don't think we know. We don't think it relates. Those are the ones that relate even more. Those are the ones that go, ho, 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 wait. That Sesame Street, one of these things just doesn't belong. Well, that's the one you need to pay attention to, because that's where the biggest message is usually from. That's where the lesson comes from. That's what we usually delve into tarot for, at least talking from personal experiences, is to get on a deeper level on whatever it is I'm asking about, even if it's something general, right? It might seem like it comes out of left field, but realistically, this is, if we knew the answer, then why are we asking tarot in the first place? So when we get an answer that we're like, I don't know what that means, and we want to put it back in, we're missing the point. The universe is going, we're giving you the answer, and you're not taking it. You're not learning the deeper meaning. So, maybe it's the devil card and you're like, oh, I don't want to look at that. But those are the cards that have the biggest message for you. And those are the ones, if you're learning, it's going to help you learn even better. And I think the next thing, because I already said the first thing, the next thing to consider is how you feel about it. When you see that card come up, pay attention to how your reaction to it, because that's part of the message too. Okay. Just like when I would do Reiki sessions or I'd teach Reiki, I always taught my students that when the person comes for their session and you're setting things up and then they're there and you're getting them set up on the massage table, that's all part of the session already. You've already put that intention that the set, Reiki is there and you're doing the session. Well, I do tarot the same. So when I call that energy in, I've done it a lot of times now. I can do it pretty quickly. And I just trust to know that connection, that protection, that illumination is there. And from there, I really feel that anything that comes up until the end of the session is part of the message. So even if it's, you hear a sound outside, a fun example is a bell going off. Hey, I got an idea. And you hear a bell go, bing. And you're like, oh, that's adding to the reading, to the message that's meant to come. So going back to what I was saying, talking about your how you react to a card that comes up, that is part of it. And you can delve a little deeper into that as well, which is why I totally recommend journaling when you're using tarot. And I actually have a playbook, a tarot playbook, if you're interested in that. It's $9. It's digital. You can download it. You can print it. You can just do it digitally. But it's a great way to learn the cards. I have lots of stuff in there that helps to prompt you on things. And there's also lots of space. So it's kind of like a lesson book and a journal all together, but I like to call it a playbook because doesn't that sound more fun, right? Because to me, if it's not fun, what's the point? So I think it's really, really, oh, hang on. I see something here. I'm distracted by numbers. I see it. You saw 888 again. Oh, so what does 888 mean for you? And, it's cool. We can look up on Google all the time, 888 angel number. And I like that. But I also like starting out with, what do you pick up? What's your in reaction? What's your response to stuff like that comes up? And I'm going to give you a second if you want to type it in, and I'll share my insight. Hopefully money. I hear ya. Well, 888. Oops. There we are. Yeah, generally good things. Yeah, 888 is definitely, to me, especially when it's not just 1-8, but you saw triple. To me, that's a big, it's like an amplification of that number 8 energy. And it's the infinity symbol on its side, right? So things are happening in the order they're meant to happen. That infinite love, infinite connection. So that could be, caring for yourself through maybe money coming in or something that helps, whatever. But yeah, 8s are fantastic. I love them. And I love other numbers too. But when we, and when we see those numbers repeatedly like that and paying attention in the moment, like you just did, Phantom Punk, whatever I said in that moment, and you saw the 888, that's a like, ooh, pay attention. That's for you. That's an extra message for you. So, so that's the Magician. Let's move on to the next one. So we had the Fool, the Magician. Yeah, I didn't pull these out. They came in this order. And then we have the next card, the Priestess. So on this hero's journey, we're on to the next step of maybe trusting those gifts and tools we have a little more. The more you believe, the more you receive. Whatever that is. Think about that one. The more you believe in something, the more, I had it. The more evidence you see that it is there. And you have to get out of ego to do it. That's a big part of that. You'll notice in this card, there's no yellow. Yellow is the energy of the solar plexus, which also governs ego and things like that. So let's reverse this a little bit since I'm on that tangent. There's a lot of yellow in here. See, I see it as symbolism as well. It's symbolic. Yellow is, the solar plexus chakra, which is needing the energy, needing the bravery, needing the gall to do something, right? And then in here, we also have a lot of that. You have to do a lot of believing in yourself, letting go of the ego that's saying you can't do it, you don't know enough, they're going to laugh at you, all of that nattering, and that gets burned away. So it's either you can err on the side of ego telling you suck, you're never good enough, or it can be ego going, you're doing fantastic, or it could be worse. It could be boastful and full of yourself, and then that's never any good for anybody. But there's also some green, which is heart-centered energy, and blue, which is the communication, and then purple, which is trusting your intuition. And that's what takes us to this next card, the High Priestess, where she's definitely in flow. She's got that beautiful unconditional love coming in. She's got the light and the dark, so it's trusting this the shadow and the light. It's trusting that there are lessons, there is balance, there is yin, there is yang. Yeah. So this is where you, if you want to be a tarot reader or not, or this is maybe just succeeding at life, whatever that looks like for you, this is really trusting those tools and skills you're building, and it's ongoing. That's why they call it a practice. And with the high priestess, it's saying you keep doing that. The more you do that, the more that connection broadens, right? She's like, it's flowing right through her and or them, right? And it's so important that you trust yourself. So this is why it's great when you're learning something new and you want to practice on somebody, but you also have to be willing to not listen too much to the feedback if it's negative that you get. Okay, when it comes to this, you crush that ego. It's no good. But it's super important for you to listen to your own loving message from yourself first and foremost, right? We are the only ones that can unlock that unconditional love. People can tell us they love us and that reading was so good and this and that, but if we aren't open to receiving it, it's not going to get in. So we have to be willing to be a clear channel, to let that energy flow, to let the memory of what do these cards mean, even though I'm always saying don't memorize them, it's not about that, it's experiencing them. Never memorize a card. You know why? Let me tell you why. It's not a textbook. It's not a course where you're going to all learn the exact same thing and, come out walking like robots going, this, that is. No. Yes, there's some symbolism that's typical, but ideally you want to tap into what's deep within you. And the message comes through you and your interpretation of how the magician comes to be in whatever the reading is. It's not saying the magician is someone totally different than, like, yes, there's similarities throughout, but you're not going to learn that until you just start playing. You start playing around. That's just do it. Have fun with it. Notice I said play. No one likes to practice anything if it's not. Any questions or anything? Oh, I love that. Yeah, I believe, therefore I am. Yes, exactly. Oh, I believe, therefore I have. Yeah, that too. Love it. Yin yang. All work and no play make Jack a dull boy. Yeah, true. But I mean, even when things we really want to learn, like you want to learn it so bad. I've been wanting to learn tarot for so long and I keep getting it wrong. Well, there is no wrong. The only wrong is not trusting yourself or not believing in yourself. I think that's kind of the same thing. Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to pull another collective card here just to see what else comes up. I threw those back in. You see, I'm trying to shuffle. That's another thing about shuffling. That's kind of evolved for me over time as well. I used to think, oh, how am I supposed to do this? And I've got tiny little hands, so a lot of cards are too big for me. And I have to turn them this way. So that's a tip for anyone who has small hands. You can always turn them this way. I like to do like the Vegas shuffle, but it's hard with these cards. There's too many. It's not like a playing card deck. So my tiny little fingers, let's see. Oh, it's so hard. And then I can't do the fan. I can do it better with this other deck. So I resisted getting this Rider-Waite tarot deck because I didn't like the pictures on it. I didn't like the artwork. Sorry, Pamela. But anyways, yeah, weird. Yeah, small hands, big cards. Exactly. Let's see. Most of the tarot readers I go to, same thing. Yeah. Yes, definitely. If you have a specific question, let me know, or just say general. I'll finish my little rant. I was just trying to show you that this is a different deck, but the Queen of Wands came up. So that's kind of nice to have that in there. That very first card I pulled was the Page of Wands, right? So now we have Queen of Wands, which is saying start believing in your own magic, take the action. We've got this little black cat in front here. So she's not worried about what other people think, superstitions and that sort of thing. She's just taking the action she thinks she needs to take right now, right? What a beautiful card after having the Magician and then the High Priestess and then that beautiful Queen of Wands. Actually, the Queen of Wands in the Lightseer Tarot. I love that one. So let's see if I can do my famous shuffle here with these older cards. A little bit. Maybe I'm nervous trying to perform live. Who knows? The cat always stands out to me. Yeah, interesting. Interesting. What does that mean for you? And that's another cool thing. Thanks for bringing that memory up for me. Is when I mentioned earlier about I like watching a lot of YouTube tarot readers. And this is how I started reading even better than when I first learned and got certified, is by interpreting what they are saying, not just what they're saying, but looking at the cards and getting my own message from it. Because a lot of theirs are global, what am I trying to say? General reading or for the collective. So I always try and take that message and see what symbolism I get from it. So it's cool that you notice the cat. Like what message is that for you? Yeah. Let's see. Solid collective reading. Yeah. Sabrina the Teenage Witch. Kind of view the Queen of Wands as a witch-like character. Yeah. So not the old Sabrina, where the mechanical witch or cat, or the new cool one with I can't remember what her name is. That was a good series. I enjoyed it. So let me pull a card for you, Phantom. We got someone here asking, will I get a job in ANZ? Well, yes or no questions. I'm sus with those, but I'll get back to you. Hang on. All right, let me go. Little robot cat. Yeah. Animatronic, whatever the heck it was, eh? Those were the days. All right, Phantom, this is for you. You didn't say if there was anything. Oh, here we go. On what's coming my way soon. All right. So tune in to the message you're most meant to hear. Ooh. I feel like I need to pull another one as well. Hi, Nitro One. Ooh. Greedy Gretchen gets a lot more. Okay. Let's unpack this. You've been here for a while, so you deserve a little mini reading here. Well, I feel that there are definitely some good things coming. We have the Sun. And I'm drawn to it's number 19. I don't know if that number means anything to you, or if it's like the 19th day, or maybe 1 and 9 is 10. So anyways, I feel like if it feels like the energy has been kind of humdrum or something, there are good times coming. There's a lightness that's definitely coming that is taking not taking place of the whole energy that you might be going through, but it's definitely, it feels like a light at the end of the tunnel. You also have the Two of Swords, the Four of Swords, and then a special other card, which I'll get to in a second. So yeah, it might feel like it's been a real this or that, and there's been such polarizing thoughts, and it almost feels like you're trying to feel one way and you keep getting blindsided by other people, not all at the same time, but it's almost like they all are thinking the same way, and it's you're butting heads, I feel, with other people. This to me isn't an internal this or that so much as you're trying, but the shit show's happening outside around you. And with the Four of Swords, it feels like this is easy to by giving yourself time and space and allow yourself to just singularly focus on you. And it's not so much you doing this and meditating and being calm and quiet. It's doing something that really energizes you and lights you up. That's where that sun energy can really come in. So it's up to you, because it feels like there's almost not depression, but there's lower energy that's just like it could go either way kind of thing. So that's where you got to crank it up, whatever the sun is for you. And then this card to me is saying, you're the professional when it comes to yourself and everything you've done and everything you've been through. No one knows you better than you, is what I'm saying. So with this Magician, it's saying that this is you. This is how you can manifest. All right. So the extra overall message I'm getting from this is, when you start from here, how wonderful everything is right now. This is great. I love Rand. Everything is working out. Everything is happening the way it's meant to. It's all good. Even when things are a little, you got to keep going back to this going. But you know what? I love who I am now. I feel good inside. That's going to get rid of all that. That's going to allow you that no man's land. Walk through the desert to the other side, so you can really get into, what am I attracting into my life? What am I bringing to me? What's that rabbit that I'm pulling out of the hat? There you go. That's for you. I hope that makes sense. Let the good times roll. Yeah. Yeah. Good. I'm glad it resonates. Good. Excellent. Good. Wow, that kind of kept going there. All right, let's see. Oh, you're very, very welcome. Let's see. Let's go back. Here we go. Oh, hang on. I see something here. Nitro One, aka Georgia. Hello. Nice to see you. Excellent, excellent. Do you want a card pull? Let me know. We are going to go up here to, I can't even do it. Yash Sweeney? Yash, I'm sorry. I'm not good at these kind of things. I stick to tarot. It's what I know best. All right. Now, I mentioned I don't really do a yes and a no because I don't think that's super empowering. Let's flip this around a little bit into something more like, what can I do? This is you. What can you do or have? What message is there surrounding getting the job that's meant for you? Because maybe it's not at ANZ or ANZ. Maybe there's something somewhere else. So that's why I don't like kind of pinning the universe into a corner going, tell me this or that, this or that. All right. So the card fell when I was still talking. And you've got the Hanged Man. There's a lot of major arcana cards that have been coming up. So it's like, heads up. And And I feel with this, it's definitely, things aren't happening at the speed you want them to. And there might be a pause or a slowdown. It's kind of like she's just hanging out there. And the thing is, you can't let yourself get uptight about it. You've got to stay in the energy of feeling successful, knowing you have the experience that you need to, knowing your resume is done the way it needs to. You're doing everything you can. You're putting it out there. You have the experience. You're visualizing what you want. Let the universe figure out what that is for you, even if it's not this particular job. Okay, because slowdowns happen, but there's a reason. There's a knowledge to be gained. Maybe there's someone to meet and connect with who's going to find you something that's even better. Yeah, there's so many like things that can happen in the background that it's easier to kind of just trust the energy that you're feeling, even if it feels like it's slow. And I also want to pull the top card here. Ooh. So we have the Tower as well. So things are going to be a lot different than what you expect. Now, I don't see the Tower as a horrible disaster at all, especially when it comes to this. It's just saying that in order for things to really change the way you've been wanting lots of change in your life, I'm picking up, I think it's like, okay, I'm done with things being the same. It's something just has to jolt the energy is what I feel. Because I'm really, where's the card? Because I'm really drawn to that lightning bolt and jolting and changing the energy. And what I also see in this card here is these are butterflies, and it's not very clear. The butterflies are symbols of transformation. So sometimes when change is meant to happen, we don't always have control over what's going to happen. And then that's also where, the hangups are sometimes. Things aren't happening in the way you want. So maybe it's like timing might be right for this particular thing. I want to pull you another one. Let's see. Let me see if there's any comments. We're good. Okay. All right. And then, and I love it because what's with all the major arcana cards? You've got the Star. So it's like, keep hope and have faith and trust. Things are aligning the way they're meant to. And it's not just a matter of hoping and praying, but it's taking action and being present in your physical world as well, like doing the thing, like even the things that might feel a little monotonous or boring. Within you have that positive energy of like, my hopes and dreams are happening right now. They're all happening around me. It's working its way out. I'm just taking the action I need when I want, and I'm keeping the faith and I'm trusting. That's what I pick up. I hope that makes sense for you. Yeah. All right. Nitro One, Georgia. Sure, whatever the universe wants me to know. I love those ones. Those are great places to practice too when we do our own. So let's see. Let's tune into what Georgia most needs to hear. What does the universe want her to know? Okay. All right. Anything else? One more. There we go. Oh, you get two more. All right. Let's put them in the order we got them. King of Wands. Love it. I'm picking up a little resistance in taking action for some reason when this popped up. Usually this is like, go. And then something within me went, let's see. So the next, and I'll come back to it, but let's see. So then we have the Six of Swords. So it feels like definitely changes. You're in the midst of some changes happening or making up your mind to do something different than you've done before. Maybe this has been going on for a while. That might be part of that too. Like um, the you have the enthusiasm, or you did, and it's kind of like it's slowing down a little bit. You've got the Six of Pentacles, and then the last card I'll show you in a second. So Knight of Wands, or King of Wands, Six of Swords, and the Six of Pentacles. So you've got double sixes. And sixes are good numbers. Six is definitely the energy of reciprocity, especially the Six of Pentacles. It's like things are always working out. We were talking about the infinity symbol earlier. So here we have the infinity symbol as well. And there's definitely, I'm feeling almost like karmic energy coming to you in a good way. It's not like, oh, revenge or whatever. It's more like, oh, the things that, they're finally coming to fruition for you. But it feels like you really need to be willing to take the action, even in the times where it's like, I really don't want to, because that's where it's going to be easier to make the changes you need to make. And your fourth card is the Fool. It's just having faith and trusting in those times where you're like, ugh, do I have to? It's like, just trust that you will have what it takes when you need to take it. That's what I pick up for you. I hope it makes sense. Oh, you're very welcome. Very welcome. I hope that was good for you. And good luck. Keep me posted. Keep me posted. 66. Cool. Nice to meet you. I just turned 60. So how are the 60s? How are they treating you? But hey, you know what? It can be anything. It doesn't mean, I don't know. Time to jump makes sense. Okay. Yeah. It doesn't have to be anything major. It's just, if we're willing to do what we need to do, we might as well have fun and have adventure doing it. I can't hold the cards. They're just too small. Or my hands are too small. But yeah, I hope that resonates with you. Come back again and keep me posted. So I'm going to call that a night, and it was really great to hang out with you, and we'll see you next Monday. Tarot After Dark. Peace.